Hey, with all the distractions that you have off the field, how are you able to keep focused on winning football games as you do and do throughout the year? When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Marketing come up with that for him. Those were his phrases that he came up with, that he believed in.
Just win. Play hard. Try not to make mistakes. But don't worry about mistakes, because there's only one thing that counts. Just win. Just win.
Yo, welcome to the SC Raiders Talk, aka boy Eric, and I'm back. I'm back again. You feel me? We're back on schedule, like always. The regular schedule that we are starting to go by. Of course, today we have a lot to talk about. Tomorrow's the deadline. In 24, actually, looking at the time, less than 24 hours until the 53-man roster deadline happens. So far, there has been multiple cuts that the Raiders has done today that we'll talk about. And also, who else will get cut besides that? Because at the end of the day, 90 to 53 is freaking ridiculous, and I don't know how they're going to make the decisions. But, of course, before we talk about all those things, man, I want to shout out everybody that's in here so far. Blessings to you guys and your families. I appreciate you guys for being here, man. If you guys can, hit that like button to push out the algorithm to more people. And shout out to All Eyes on G. What's good? Robert Penn in the building. You already know what it is. Oh, let me get the sound. Hold on. You already know. Shout out to Raider Paul in the building. SC will not make the final roster in order to go back on vacation. Shout out to Circus. What's good, Circus? Good to see you. Hope all is well. Salute Raider Paul. Number 32 made the cut. We keep you 32. Shout out to SoCal Sal. What's good, SoCal Sal? Good to see you, man. EJ Raider, salute. Salute. My brother Avocado Raider AR in the building. What's good? What's good? What's good? Hey, you heard him, man. Hit that like button. You feel me? Push it out to more people. Let's get it. You feel me? Let's get it popping. Shout out to Anthony Estrada in the building. What up, Anthony? Good to see you. Hope all is well. Raider Pete in the building. What's good, Raider Pete? Salute. Shout out to everybody coming in. Slowly but surely. Shout out to everybody, man. I appreciate you guys. Real shit for coming on by and stuff like that. But let's go straight into it, right? First, let's first do the news of today, right? There's been a couple of players that have been released, and for one, I'm gonna go from. Actually, I was gonna do it by rankings, but at this point, who cares, right? Noah Shannon, which okay, right? Ron Stone Jr. Okay. Terrell Bynum. Okay. This is where it gets interesting, right? And well, not interesting, but interesting, right? Rashad Williams, TJ Franklin, right? So TJ Franklin, another edge rusher gone, a cornerback gone, and Rashad Williams, right? He was like the 5th, 6th string guy on the depth chart. And then here we go. We get even more interesting. Woo Governor. I know a lot of people like Woo Governor. I know some people have interviewed Woo Governor. Woo Governor, it looks like, got released. So that's the first interesting one. Had a good camp, you feel me? Good preseason, stuff like that. And he's the first one that's, some may say a surprise cut, maybe. I mean, who knows? Maybe a surprise cut, maybe not. Who knows, right? So, yes, he got released. So that means most likely he might go to the practice squad. That's what it looks like. Kind of like what Circus said there. He might go to the practice squad. I think he might be a practice squad guy. And then the second one is Marquand McCall. the D tackle there. For me, Marquand McCall wasn't one of those guys that for me personally, I wasn't really a big fan of him the way others were, right? I know my boy Twan, the 2 for 1 Nation podcast, um, he he likes Marquand McCall. But obviously he got waived today as part of the cut down today. Um, and then that's what it looks like. I think that's pretty much it from what I could look at. So we got Noah Shannon gone, Ron Stone Jr. gone, Marquand McCall gone, Rashad Williams gone, and Will Governor, and that's it. Yeah, it's pretty much it. That's what it looks like. It's pretty much it. Shout out to everybody, man. I'm surprised Will Governor got waived. Oh, I already read that. Um, what's good? McCall it quits. That's a good one. Shout out to Willie Wayne in the middle. What up, Willie Wayne? What up, Willie Wayne? What up, Willie Wayne? Just win baby podcast, man. Yeah, yeah, I'm on stream, man. Salute, salute, salute. I feel that. I just came off of a vacation, man. I just came off of a vacation. This is my what, third live, fourth live? Coming out of vacation. I just took a huge like a month and a half. Shout out to Raider Paul in the building. What up, Paul? What up, Paul? So obviously, let's get straight to it, right? If you missed my show on Saturday, I kind of had a couple people things. He said, "League bro, let's break down. Let's do a collab, man. Hit me up on IG. 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 And we'll talk about some things, man, because I'm gonna do collabs for sure this season. For sure, for sure. But if you guys missed my Saturday show, I had a couple people there that I had to cut, right? Some people disagreed, some people agreed. Some of those people were obviously Jaden Grant. He was one of those guys that didn't impress me, but impressed other people. That's one of those guys that I had cut. Let me actually check the the exact list. Let me get my exact list, right? I do not want to see Gainer and Snowden cut. Yeah, I had Gainer as one of those that we should keep at all costs. We should keep at all costs for sure. So for me, here, let me get my list out real quick. The 4 people that I had Jalen Guyton gone, right? I had Jalen Guyton, he must be gone. Sincere McCormick, he must be gone. And then these 2 were kind of like up in the air because I like Chris Smith second. Everybody knows I've been a fan of Chris Smith since he came out of college at Georgia. And he was one of those guys that was one of my surprise cuts just because of the safety room we have ahead of him. And it has nothing to do with him being a bad player. I mean, he's not a bad fucking player. He's a heck of a player. He's just one of those guys that when people ask me a surprise cut, that would be one. And then Sincere McCormick, I have gone. Jalen Guyton, I said gone. And Jaden Grant, obviously gone. Just because that safety room alone is really good. And I think Chris Smith is over Jaden Grant if they keep more than 4 safeties for sure. And then to keep, add some to keep, I believe, it would be Amari Gainer. Amari Gainer for sure. Yep. Amari Gainer. And then let me get the rest of it. Tyreek McAllister. I think McAllister, after this recent game, we could all agree that he kind of solidified his spot, at least from special teams perspective, right? Then Janoris Robinson. That's another guy I said keep it. And Matthew Butler. I know some of you guys don't like Matthew Butler, but Matthew Butler is the other one for me personally that I had there. So those were guys that I wanted to keep. I think Amari Gainer, we could all agree that we need to keep at all costs. At all costs, right? That guy has a dog. I mean, he looked really damn good. I know it's preseason, but for a guy to have that much hunger already, that's a guy I want on the team, right? Um, let me see. I do not want to see. Oh yeah, I already read that. The IG's on the bottom, right? Underneath this. Snowden was being a menace with that insane wingspan he has, bro. Snowden, I mean, I'll tell you this, Snowden showed more than Tyree Wilson. I'll tell you that, right? As far as defensive ends on the bubble, I had Stone Jr. cut as well. Yep, he was gone today. And then Snowden and Robinson make the practice squad. I would like to see them on the main squad. Robinson specifically, but either or. I would like to see them do the rotation there. Forget Gone, Sincere, and Brandon Brown need getting the boot. Yeah, the Brandon Brown's another one that I've never been a fan of. Even when coming out of college, I could go back and watch my lives. I was never a fan of Brandon Brown, man. And it had nothing to do with college he came from. It had everything to do with I just didn't see shit from him. Like, don't forget about Snowden. Snowden is the only competition Robinson had. That's a fact, man. And Snowden, I just want guys that are hungry. And I wouldn't doubt it if Snowden becomes a practice squad guy and Robinson makes it to the 53 and plays rotationally. It's just for me personally, I don't know about Tyree Wilson, man. He either they stashed him and said, "Hey, go out there and play vanilla," or I don't know, right? Um, Linebackers we keep Diablo, Spillane, Gainer, Bernie, Eichenberg, and Masterson with Muaga on the practice squad. I think, yeah, Muaga's probably on the outside looking in as far as if they would waive them, and it would be Muaga. Besides that, obviously, we're going to run a two linebacker set pretty much every single time. It'll be a 4-2-5 pretty much. So you would see a lot of Diablo and Spillane there, and then a rotation between Masterson, Gainer, and they might give Bernie some burn as one. Eichenberg being like, you feel me, a rotational towards the end. Rest on the practice squad, I ain't no way he's a lock on the roster. You don't think he'll be a lock on the roster? Or you think he's gonna be on a lock on the roster? Me, I think Robinson needs to be I think Janoris Robinson should be on the main squad. I think he showed enough. I think he showed a lot. And it shows that he could do something, at least something, right? I know it's preseason, but he shows something. He's a lock for the roster. I think so too, man. I think he played pretty damn freaking good, if you ask me, right? Um, and then moving on here, who do you guys think is a surprise cut? Who would you think is a surprise cut? Give me some names you would consider surprise cuts. Me, Brandon Faison, just because of his injury. Just because of his injury. He said Nathan Peter go. Hey, he might get cut. I ain't gonna lie. He might get cut. Faison, yeah, I agree with you there. I think Chris Smith the second is another guy that could be really surprising to me, right? When I think of surprise cut, I think of people like, damn, they cut him. What the fuck? And Chris Smith into second is one of those guys. I'm trying to think of other players. Here's the thing, and this one's gonna be an interesting one, and I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a curveball, more of like a really, really surprise cut. And this is one of the guys that I've been liking ever since we got him off of free agency that I've talked highly about. And that's Alexander Madison, the running back, the veteran. That's somebody that I feel like would be a very, very, very surprise cut. Like, I mean, surprise cut. And I hope that doesn't happen because I like Madison as a number 2 back, man. He's a good back, man. He's a good back, especially for a running back by committee, a veteran. But that would be a guy that would be a surprise cut, right? Now, Faison also needs the boot. Dude is never healthy. Yeah, he's never healthy. Byron Young also could be a surprise cut. That could be another one. That could be another one. Byron Young and Bernie. Bernie would be a surprise cut as well. Yeah. They let Bradley go. Stupid move. Peterman sucks. Did they let go of Bradley? I haven't seen anything about him getting cut. Am I tripping? Did they let go of Bradley? Let me see. I don't see nothing. Safeties are no brainer. Morik, Epps, Palomau, Taylor, and Phelan Sanford on the practice squad. Okay, that's interesting. Sanford on the practice squad. I'd rather let Abdullah go than Madison. Oh, that's interesting. Nah, they cut Anthony Brown for Peter go. Oh, they cut yeah. They are keeping 5 running backs. You think so? I think they will, yeah. 5 running backs. Gainer showed a much higher upside than Bernie. He did. Gainer, I mean, he was all over the fucking ball. Literally every moment there was a tackle or something, he was always around the ball, which was crazy. But that shows how much hunger he had to be there, right? He says cut Bradley too. I feel that. We all know that AOC and Gardner Minshew are 1 and 2. Minshew being number one, O'Connell being number two. We all know they might most likely keep two quarterbacks, only two quarterbacks, and keep a quarterback on the practice squad. With McAllister and Turner, I think Abdullah is expendable. Ooh, okay. That would be a surprise cut. If the Abdullah gets cut, that would be a surprise cut for me personally. It'll be interesting. But McAllister did show up, man. He's one of those guys that he wanted a roster spot. He showed why he wanted a roster spot, and I think he solidified his spot on the roster spot for sure. At least for sure for special teams. And Turner. Yeah, of course, Turner. Turner's Turner, right? Turner's Turner there. Let me see. Um, moving on here, obviously, and this has to do with pretty much 5 running backs or 2 quarterbacks or 5 safeties, right? The position battles. The and I wanted to ask, where are the toughest decisions? I think the toughest decisions are gonna come from the defensive line. I think the defensive line is gonna be the toughest decision they have to make on who they wanna cut, who they wanna keep. So far, so far down the line right now, McCall is the only one that got the boot, and Ron Stone Jr. off of that defensive line, and TJ Franklin, but McCall being the main one out that got cut down, that got waived already, and then Noah Shannon. So I wonder who else they're gonna take away from that defensive tackle room specifically, right? You have the likes of Byron Young, you have the likes of Matthew Butler, you have the likes of Nesta Jade Severa. Who's gonna be expendable? Who's gonna be the guy gone, or are they gonna keep all of them? And then the offensive line. I think the offensive line, there's a lot of tough decisions to be made there. There's a lot of guys there with versatility, veteran, young potential guys there. I wonder who they're gonna end up. There's no way they keep all the offensive line there. There's no way. There's so many of them, and I think that some of them could be expendable. I think some of them could be on the way out, but that would be another tough decision. And then the running back room, obviously, that we're talking about. The running back room is gonna be a very, very tough decision for them. I wonder how they go about it. I really wonder how they go about it if they keep 4 backs, 5 backs, 3 backs, 6 backs, right? It all depends. At the end of the day, people like McAllister, right? McAllister used to be a running back and then switched to a wide receiver. So that's a guy that kind of like what Pete said here is like a Cordell Patterson type dude, man. He could run the ball, he could catch the ball, he's special teams, and that's all right. Pete could go. He is dog shit and prove that he can't hang in the league anymore. People know was one of the guys that I said would be a surprise cut. I said that on Saturday's show, I believe. Yeah, I did. That Pete could go. Nothing against him. He's been a guy that I like coming off of free agency, man. I think he's a veteran. He went to multiple Pro Bowls, versatility, but just your knowledge of the game can only go so far in making a roster spot, especially when we want people that are gonna be here, be active, start all those things, and continue down the line of all those things, right? 53 man, be ready for every single game day, and all that different stuff. So he says he doesn't speak for me, everything against him. God damn, god damn. But yeah, so now I wanted to touch up upon the waiver wire, right? Will the Raiders be active? Now, there's some guys that I have my eyes on that I'm gonna show you guys some names, right? I have 4 names that could be potentially cut from other teams or could be highly be cut that we should take a look at for sure as a Raider organization, right? See you soon. SC gotta go for sure, for sure. Later, Paul. Later, Paul. You already know what it is. Let me see. Where the fuck is this is Mitchell Mania? O-line, Miller, JPJ, James, Parham, Munford, and will eventually start Pete, Whitehair, Glaze, and Mountain Wagner will back up. Okay. Okay. Tell me which defense and Tyree can you do something Wilson perform better than currently on our roster this preseason, other than the ones I got cut today? Not one. And then a trash can. And that's the thing of Akazi. And that's why I didn't get why he didn't play the 3rd preseason game. I didn't think he was safe, man. And at the end of the day, I'm not, you feel me, behind the scenes, or I don't have inside, or I'm not, you feel me, the scouts over there or whatever they're seeing that apparently we're not seeing, right? But at the end of the day, he didn't show shit in the preseason. And that alone should have made him play in that third game. Instead, they didn't play him the third game. He was considered a pretty much locked in 53 man because he didn't play that third game. And it makes me concerned because it's like, what do they see in him right now that keeps him secured on the roster and not letting him compete for a roster spot? So who knows, right? Um, I like Janoris Robinson and these guys better than him right now. And I know it's only preseason, but man, they had good practices. They had good preseason. At the end, Tony Pierce said it that it's more than just the game. It's the training camp, the camps leading up to the practice, all that stuff. So who knows? Big investments like Tyree takes longer to make decisions, and that could be true too, man. I think they might give him. It looks like they're gonna give him a shot for the first couple games, and then if he doesn't pan out, they might take him out. That's probably what most likely will happen. So let me show you guys a couple names, and you guys let me know. You guys let me know what you guys think, right? You guys let me know what you guys think here. I got 4 names here. Okay. I have 4 names here that I wanted you guys to keep a lookout for. And for me personally, I'm looking out for. The number 1 being James Bradbury. I know we were linked to him before, but James Bradbury is a veteran corner that, of course, with the Eagles getting younger, could most likely be on his way out due to the fact that the Eagles ended up drafting 2 number 1 corners in this year's draft. Pretty much got 2 first round corners. So that means people like James Bradbury, that's a little bit on the older side, could be on the way out. So for me, James Bradbury is one of those guys that I'm keeping a looking out for. That would be good for the roster, in my opinion. What you guys think of James Bradbury? What you guys think of James Bradbury? I like James Bradbury, man. I think he's a good player. I just think that maybe that older age might get to some of y'all, and you might be away from it. And I'm just thinking of a standpoint from it's gonna be a low risk because we're not gonna pay him money, right? Too much money, and he's also, I mean, we don't know what we're gonna get from him, right? And it is like what Kevin Lurker said, it's a roll the dice again, and I think if you do a very cheap deal, I think it's worth it because at the end of the day, you could get still a decent, serviceable type cornerback, right? For the low cost, or you could get another Marcus Peters, but this time you don't have to invest too much into him. And that's why I think James Bradbury on a really good deal, kind of like what Pete said, a team friendly deal, extremely team friendly deal that I think is a high possibility to do. I think that there shouldn't be a problem, right? But ignored us before, so maybe he goes and fucks himself. Woods is to 0-2, 202. Yeah, we'll talk about Woods right now. Bradbury could still be a serviceable cornerback too. Not to mention Robinson is a big dude like Tyree. Yeah, they're like the same build pretty much. But moving on, Robert Woods. Now, the reason I put Robert Woods here is, of course, with the addition of Stephon Diggs to the Houston Texans. They are getting younger and stuff like that. Also, Michi the third. I know a lot of people are already talking about John Michi the third, which he's the other speedster that came after um the whole Henry Ruggs thing the year before. I know Robert Woods and Michi the third are 2 guys that could be expendable for the Houston Texans. For me, Robert Woods is one of those guys that could take over somebody like Gallup that retired. He doesn't have to be the wide receiver 1. He don't gotta be the wide receiver 2. He don't gotta be the wide receiver 3, but the 4, 5, 6, I think would be fine. Even 5 or 6 on a good deal. At the end of the day, these guys are gonna get cut. They're not gonna expect a lot of money getting thrown their way either way. So, you know, how much would you offer Bradbury? Huh? Good question. Good question. Good question. Good question. How much would I offer Bradbury? I'm trying to think. Maybe 4, 5, 6. What you guys feel about that? 4, 5, 6 mil for 1 year? four range, 4 mil, 4 mil 5. I mean, even then I wouldn't do that much. I think like I don't know. I just think like a vet minimum. I mean, whatever you consider vet minimum. I think vet minimum for sure. Vet minimum with the Koopa to the bunny ranch on top of it. Yeah, I think he'll take it. I think he'll take it. I think he'll take it for sure. I think he'll take it for sure. Uh, how is it? How is it? He's being outperformed by a landslide by Roberts. Roberts is only 1 year older than Tyree and a fourth round pick. That's a fact, man. That's a fact. That's a fact. Right, Bill similar. Not to mention, yep. So now, obviously, the next one is Lewis Sign. Now, some of you may say that we don't need another safety. In my opinion, I don't think we need another safety, but I think Lewis Sign is one of those guys that you have to keep a lookout for. Uh, I think he was a first round pick. I think he was the last pick of the draft in the first round. In the first round. The Vikings might go a different direction, and Lewis Sign is one of those guys that could still be a really good player. And with our roster, younger and stuff like that, he's one of those guys that just fits the system and stuff like that. So for me personally, Lewis Sign's one of those guys that you look out for. Not guaranteeing it because at the end of the day, we need a cornerback more than a safety itself. And Lewis Sign is more of a safety, but he's one of those guys that you have to look out for on the waiver wire, man. There's just some players that you just look and you're like, oh, okay, it's a shiny gem, right? But yeah. Bradbury deal 1/4 of what he got in Philly, but he has to show he has speed. That is true too, man. He has to pass the medical, right? Bradbury was moved to safety on Philly, and then they drafted 2 DBs, I believe. Yes, they drafted 2 DBs for sure. Two number ones, by the way. Two number ones. Two number ones. Uh, I forgot their names already. Um, what was their names? It was like Cooper DeJean, and then the other one was what, Mitchell from Toledo or whatever. Two number one corners of this. So that's why I feel like James Bradbury is expendable. It's not that he's a horrible player. It's the fact that they got younger and they got two number one freaking corners, potential number one corners, bro, on their team. Plus, I think they still got more really good corners already on the Eagles and a good defense. So, you know, you know, that's what it is, right? And then the last one, Jamon Davis, man. Jamon Davis. Now, this is the guy that's a linebacker. Okay. Linebacker slash edge. I mean, a lot of people have him listed as that linebacker slash edge. But yeah, Jamon Davis is one of those guys that could be another look, man. And it's nothing against our linebacker room. I love our linebacker room, actually. I like the likes of Amar Gainer coming up and the draftees of Tommy Eichenberg and, Amari Burney finally doing something and Diablo and Spillane. We know what they're capable of. They did it last year and they could do it again. The duo there. But Jamal Davis would be a good guy just to look at, just to see. That's why I have him at the fourth spot right there. Um, he's an interesting guy, right? Um, interesting player, right? If I were to say the least. I mean, Jamal Davis, especially with the Washington Commanders pretty much having a lot of defensive players, I think he could be very expendable. Also, I believe they tried switching his position. If I'm not wrong, they tried switching the position. I think that's why they had it listed as an edge rusher slash linebacker because he's a linebacker, and I think they were switching him to an edge rusher, which is interesting. But you know how that doesn't always turn out to be the best, and I think that's why they might take him away because they're asking him to do something else, but asking him to do something else is not always beneficial to the player. If it pans out, it'll be beneficial to the team. But at the end of the day, it's not benefiting him at all. I think he's one of those guys that's been struggling in switching positions. So at that point, expendable, man. And that's nothing. That's not his fault. Why they want him to switch positions, and you gotta realize that he's a linebacker, right? Shout out to Cool Kev. What up, Cool Kev? What up, Cool Kev? What up, Cool Kev? But yeah, that's pretty much 4 players that I would look out for. There's still a couple. Another one is a running back from the Broncos, I believe. What's his name? It's like Perrine. His last name is like Perrine. Correct me if I'm wrong. Perrine, but he's like a 30-year-old running back from the Broncos. So I don't know about that one, but that's like a special mention, you could say. Special mention, right? Special mention. Or honorable mention. I said special mention. Honorable mention. Honorable mention. That's like an honorable mention. So there you go. There you go. Yep. Yep. Him from the Broncos, running back there. Um, yeah, that's a guy that I was also looking at, but it's like, do we really need him? Right? It just depends on what they go about it, right? Pirina. Pirina. That's how you say it? Pirina. I ain't gonna lie, that sounds so wrong. I'm not gonna lie. Pirina. 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 I don't know why that sounds so. Yo. Special teams, Joe Mixon backup from Cincy. I'd honestly look at Tim Patrick, not gonna lie. Okay, interesting. Interesting. I know, right? It sounds wrong, huh, Kevin? But yeah, that's another guy that could be on his way out there, if not already on his way out. But obviously, that's why I have him at the 4th in either of these 4 slots right here, because he's not one of those guys that I would look out for the Raiders. These are the 4 guys I would look for the Raiders. James Bradbury being the number 1, because our quarterback, they already said it. Antonio Pierce came out, pretty much stated that if they could get better, they could get better, right? And also, there's 2, right? There's 2. Shout out to Kush Mob. He said, why Woods? We don't need receiver. The reason why I put Woods is like one of those guys that, how sometimes when the cuts happen every season, there's always names that you're like, interesting, right? Woods is one of those guys that's like, interesting, right? I kind of said it earlier, I think right before you got here, and it's that the fact that I wouldn't guarantee going all in for him, just because it's not a necessary need, right? Like a need, right? For us, a cornerback is still a need in a lot of people's eyes, and some may say it's probably the number 1 need we need after these cuts. But for me, the reason I put Robert Woods is for 2 different things. For one, a veteran receiver that doesn't need to be a 1, 2, or 3 no more. He used to be the number 2, right? But we don't need him to be 1, 2, or 3. And also with Michael Gallup gone, he could be a veteran wide receiver to help out the younger guys and just to be there and still be serviceable when healthy. When healthy, right? When healthy. And that's the most important thing with a lot of these players, is when healthy, they could be serviceable. And Robert Woods is one of those guys. So that's why I put him. I'm not going all into him. Where I would go all in is a cornerback position. The cornerback position for sure. I don't know if you agree, but the cornerback position for sure should be something that we go all in on. Just because with the likes of Will Governor gone, got cut, and Rashad Williams gone, it kind of shows that they are going to bring in a cornerback. They're going to bring in a veteran cornerback. Who would that cornerback be? Who knows, right? But James Bradbury is one of those guys that could be expendable over there for the Eagles and be gone, because they got younger. They got 2 new corners, right? 2 rookie corners, and some may say 2 number 1 corners that they got there, right? In some people's minds. But yeah, I think cornerback should be, like EJ said here, cornerback number 1 priority. Yeah, I guess I agree with both takes. Yeah. Robert Woods is serviceable, but he has leg problems. That's the issue, right? He's serviceable when healthy, and that's the biggest question of them all. When healthy, right? We need corners. That's a fact, man. I think that's the #1 priority after everybody gets cut and stuff. I think for sure, the #1 priority there heading into the waiver wire and the cuts that are happening tomorrow, which tomorrow the cuts happen at 4 p.m. Eastern. If you guys didn't know the deadline, I think it's 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So less than 24 hours until we see the official 53 and who gets cut, who gets brought in. It's going to be a very interesting thing because there's a lot of players out there that might get cut that are bigger names than what I put here. We just got to wait and see. And we got to wait and see if the Raiders are quick on it, right? Quick. I know we have I'm pretty sure. Let me see if I could look it up actually. Give me a second. Waiver wire order 2024 NFL. Let me see the waiver wire order actually. Let me see. We're 13th, it looks like. We're 13th. It kind of looks like. So we have the 13th priority over a lot of players right now. So 13th is not bad. It's like, I mean, not even middle of the pack. It's like in the first half, right? The 1/4, the beginning of the teams in the waiver wire, right? At waiver wire, we have money to sign. That's a fact. We have money, unlike other people, right? I think Telesco should be on a watch for a receiver in the waiver wire. I don't trust Guyton, and I wonder if they will keep Wilkerson. I think Guyton's gone. In my opinion, I think he's gone. Now, who else could be a wide receiver that gets cut? I had Kadarius Toney. How do you guys feel about Kadarius Toney? I mean, he drops a lot of freaking passes. I'll tell you that, right? But that's another guy that's considered a big name. Considered, not to me, but he's another guy that could be cut there. And then obviously Robert Woods I have there. Michi, John Michi, of course, from the Houston Texans as well. Could be another one that's already getting trade talks there. That's another receiver there, a speedster, right? And then Robert Woods I had right there, right? McAllister earned his spot, I think so too. Shout out to All Eyes on G in the building. Guyton and Wilkerson can head to the Golden Corral. McAllister is the Swiss Army knife. Ooh, that's good, man. Yeah, because McAllister used to be a running back. So he does have that versatility, right? Fuck no to Tony. No to Tony. Hands of stone. Fuck no. Tony the new Marcus Peters. I feel that, man. I'm staying away from Kadarius Toney. In my opinion, I'm staying away. I know Juju Smith just got picked up by the Chiefs. Juju Smith is a Chief again. I don't know what the... I mean, hey, you know. But yeah, Kadarius Toney is one of the guys getting cut. Robert Woods. Michi is already on the trade. Pretty much trade rumors or whatever. But besides that, I can't think of other receivers that could get cut off the top of my head right now. Just looking at the other teams. So, we just got to wait and see, right? We just have to wait and see. But those are my 4 people there. 4 people there that I have listed. 4 players to look out for sure. Now, we're going to go on to the next topic. And pretty much the last topic, right? And that has to do with, let me bring it back on screen. And this is a question for you guys, man. And of course, veteran cornerback. Is it necessary? What do you guys think? Is it necessary to go out there and get a veteran cornerback? Or we should stay put with what we have? What you guys think? I'm not trying to let my Michigan bias get to me, but DOB. If Tony can't stay on the chef's roster, he is dead weight. Yeah, he might not even make that roster, man. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Bradbury 2 years too late. So veteran cornerback. Do you guys think that it's necessary or not necessary? Not old vet by a 5 to 6 year vet. Yes, cornerback is a must. I think number one priority. For me personally, number one priority at the waiver wire. Number one priority. He said, my bad. Fat fingers. It's all good. It's all good. But yes, I think number one priority. He said Bradbury got draws older than Eric. What the fuck? Yes, we need a cornerback vet. I do think we need a cornerback vet. Who? We will see. We'll wait to see in 24 hours. 24 hours. I really think we're going to be active right off rip. I think once people get cut, I'm pretty sure Antonio Pierce, Tom Telesco, Champ Kelly, they're going to be on the phones already, putting in their official, you feel me, bid for all these players that get cut. Hey, I want to get this player. Boom. Then the waiver wire commences. We're number 13. Everybody ahead of us have priority. We got to wait and see if somebody else gets the players we want. But some players could land to us. It all depends how all the teams play it. But for me, number one priority is a cornerback for sure. One vet is always handy. If it ends up being like a Casey Hayward, those are rare. And that's a fact. It's a fact. Those are rare. I will say that. Those are rare. Those are rares for sure. Aiden went from eating Cane's fried chicken to banquet fried chicken. God damn. Shout out to Helen. Defensive end, Braden McGregor. If the Jets cut him. I don't know too much about him. I do not know too much about him. I might have to look into that. I don't know much about him. You know, I'm gonna keep it a 100, right? I'm not gonna sit here and talk about a player I don't really know much about, right? But that, hey, I gotta go check out who that is. But so far today, you know, just to repeat it again, Ron Stone Jr. gone, right? Waived. Noah Shannon waived. Governor waived. Terrell Bynum, the wide receiver, waived. Marquand McCall waived. TJ Franklin, Rashad Williams waived. Those are all guys that have been waived. Jones is our number one cornerback, and that's a fact, Hugh Jack City. That's a fact. That's a fact, man. That's a fact. That's a fact. Rocky Sin gets cut from Frisco. Sign him. You think we should bring back? What do you guys think about bringing back Rocky Sin? What do you think about bringing back Rock Sin? What do you guys feel about Rock Sin? Me? I mean, I'll take a chance. I'll take a chance. Just because, hey, I know we're not going to pay him too much. And it's a low risk, high reward. Low risk, high reward, right? Get the Rock. I'd accept the Rock back. Bring him back. That would be good, man. Yeah, I wish we would have tried to get Rocky Sin. I think Niners keep him. No, you think they keep him? It's going to be interesting to see, man. Hopefully he gets cut, so it's good for us, right? Rocky Sin's one of those guys that low risk, high reward guy. You know, he did decent for us and then did decent enough for the Colts. Like, decent enough. I will say that. And he's one of those guys that I just feel like could bring so much to the table for not a high cost at all. Because he's not going to ask for too much money. All these guys that are going to get cut is not going to ask for too much money. I would hope not, right? Because at the end of the day, you got cut, right? You get cut. Pretty much the team that cut you pretty much said, hey, you're not good enough to make our roster. And at that point, it's like it gives leverage to other owners to negotiate deals with these guys. He would have been a nice number 2, 3 opposite of Jack Jones. That's a fact, man. Imagine Jack Jones, Nate Hobbs, Rock Ya-Sin, followed by Jacorian Bennett, Sam Webb, and all these guys, right? Shout out to Thomas Hernandez in the building. Salute, Eric. What's good, Thomas? Good to see you. Hope all is well. You already know what it is. Let me see. Let me get the sound up. Hold on. Let me play it one more time. Hold on. Yep. You already know what it is. You already know what it is. Here, let me get this back. He is better than Webb, Amik, Peters, and Faison. Yeah, pretty much. Throw out the cheap lifelines, and that's what it is, man. They're gonna be cheap, low risk, high reward guys, and we need the depth at cornerback. We need more players to join us on that cornerback position, because that's one of those positions that I think is a number one priority, and also we need more help on. Because as of right now, let me see. As of right now, with the cuts that happened today, you pretty much have Nate Hobbs, Jacoin Bennett, you have Jack Jones, then Faison, MJ Devonshire, DeCamerion Richardson, Sam Webb, Cornell Armstrong, and Jaquan Shepard. We need a corner. We need a veteran corner. We need a veteran corner. For sure. DT need a more proven run stuffer, and it does. I mean, today they got rid of McCall. So there's one of them that could potentially been in that pretty much role. I wonder if they go out and get a defensive tackle. I really wonder. And I want to see how aggressive they could be on that forefront. But we do need a more proven run stuffer, and there might be run stuffers out there on the waiver wire tomorrow. How confident are you on our backup D-line? If Crosby, Jenkins, Wilkins, and Coons go down, backups are Franklin, the rookie, Young, Butler, and Tyree. Now, me personally, I would have more faith in Janoris Robinson than somebody like Tyree Wilson. For sure. In my opinion. Now, if you follow that by the second stringers that you named, you got Byron Young, Adam Butler, and stuff like that. I have confidence in Butler. I have confidence a little bit on Young, a little bit on Byron, a little bit, not that much, but nothing too impressive of like, oh, if somebody goes down, it's like, oh, it's going to be another pretty much up to par level, right, of our starters. But it's still a question, right? It's still a concern, but I'm just hoping, you feel me? I don't want to put no bad juju out there, no negativity. I hope they don't get injured, because this defensive line has a potential to be a top 10 in the NFL. With the likes of Kuntz getting better and getting better by the minute and looking good, and then Max Crosby doing Max Crosby things, being pretty much a top 10 edge rusher, and then Christian Wilkins, that's a top 15 D tackle in people's eyes, top 10. That type of defensive, and then John Jenkins that works good with him in the chemistry. At that point, that defensive line is really good. And then the rotation, I would put Jonas Robinson right behind him. I would put Adam Butler. I would put Byron Young, and then obviously Tyree Wilson. But I like David Ogoha. Me personally, I've always liked David Ogoha, but we didn't see too much of him. I don't even think he played, or did he? I probably just didn't see it. Nestor can't clog the middle, but he can clog the toilet. God damn, Kev. God damn, Kev. What the fuck? I like Robinson as well, yeah. Raiders betting on cheap labor for the secondary, and that's what it looks like. We live and die with the D-line this year, and that's a fact. If the D-line plays good, the cornerbacks will play good. The safeties will play good. The linebackers will play good. If the defensive line play is bad, the cornerback room will not look too good. The linebacker room is not going to look too good. And then the safety room won't look too good. So the defensive line, of course, it always starts in the trenches, no matter what college football, freaking NFL, doesn't matter. It starts in the trenches. They're the most important positions on the football field, because for an offensive line, your job is pretty much to help everybody behind you, help the quarterback, give them time in the pocket, give them time to throw, precise the pass, get forward, right? And then for the running backs, open up holes for them. Let them, You feel me? Run all over the opposing defense. Now the defensive line is get pressure, prevent them from getting a first down, preventing the running back from hitting those gaps, right? Preventing the quarterback from having all the time in the world, putting pressure on them. It's important. Trenches are important. Trenches are important. I see Snowden, Robinson, and Goha as our practice squad gems in the waiting. I feel like Robinson secured a spot on the 53. I would hope so. And maybe even Snowden, right? But I think Robinson for sure should have a 53 spot. I feel like, right? Devonshire and Richardson learning the job on the fly. Yeah, I mean, they're both rookies, man. Late round picks. I mean, that's no excuse, right? Still, they're gonna be professional football players. But at the end of the day, they need time to develop, man. Those two guys need time to develop, and I think they could develop into something nice. They both have different skill sets, right? One's a better tackler than the other. The other one's more of a ball hawk than the other, right? Shout out to Thrash. What up, Thrash, man? If you guys can, please, please, please hit that like button and subscribe if you're new, man. If you come across this on the replay, hey, put down below people that you would like to see cut or not like to see cut, and who would you go out there and get, pretty much, right? My last live, I had a lot of people comment about who they would like to see go gone. So hopefully, again, if you guys have anything that I missed or anything that you wanted me to answer, or if you guys have a comment to say, hey, comment down below after the live is over. You feel me? Damn. So the third quarterback rule resorted back to the old rule. An emergency third quarterback needs to be on the 53-man roster and could not be in elevation. Is that true? Is that true? If that's true, then they have to keep a third quarterback, right? That just means you have to keep a third quarterback. Then if you think about it, I would put Carter Bradley. I would put Carter Bradley at third. I don't know about you guys. I like Nathan Petergo, but I would put Carter Bradley at third. The linebacker that had a great game against the Niners has to make the roster. The linebacker that had a great game against the Niners has to make the roster. Yeah, Mark Gainer. Mark Gainer. Actually, you know what? Let me bring this up. There's a quarterback out there that could potentially get cut. Now, you guys tell me if it's a guy that you would bring in. Taylor Heineke. How do you guys feel about Taylor Heineke? How do you guys feel about Taylor Heineke? Can Tyree Wilson become an O guard to help the goal line run game? If all he could do is push with his upper body, then do something, bro. That would be funny, right? It's a 1-year trial like the stupid kickoff format. He said, how dare you betray the savior? Yeah, I would. Okay. Raiders till death. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to everybody coming in, man. If you guys can't hit that like button. I knew you were about to say Heineke. Yeah, Heineke, bro. What do you guys feel about Heineke? Isn't that a foreign beer? Raiders are keeping two quarterbacks. Jacoby Myers, if needed, third quarterback would be the guy. Damn, Jacoby Myers as a third quarterback. I mean, he could throw the ball. Bradley would make the practice squad. Heineke is okay. He could scramble. He can scramble. And he was a starter for a lot of games, man. He did make some throws. Is it that for beer? He said But yeah, Taylor Heineke. That's somebody. There's another one. He was the backup to Lamar Jackson. What's his name? He was the backup to Lamar Jackson. Everybody, Huntley? Wait. Was that his name? Was that his name? Correct me if I'm wrong. Huntley? I know his last name's like Huntley, right? But that's another guy that could be potentially cut out there that you could bring in, right? A guy that could use his legs. Everybody always called him the mini Lamar Jackson because he came from, there you go, Tyler Huntley. Right there. What you guys feel about Tyler Huntley? What you guys feel about Tyler Huntley? Would you, if you had to choose between Tyler Huntley, Taylor Heineke, or what we have already on the roster in Carter Bradley or Nathan Peterman, who would you choose? Who would you choose? Who would you guys choose? SC, are you on the Ryan Tannehill train? No. No, no. But I heard he's another one that could be on the market. Huntley is a good hair better than Anthony Brown. Wish.com Lamar, maybe LMAO. But yeah, I heard he could be another guy that could be out there available. I'm not on the train of Ryan Tannehill, but would he be a good third string quarterback? Yeah. Sticking with Minshew, but Heineke is right behind. Yeah, Heineke would be a good third, right? A good number three quarterback behind Aiden O'Connell, behind Gardner Minshew. That's another guy that had starting abilities, that had his games, had his limelight, and a guy that we know can make some kind of throws. He's a Josh Allen. I don't know. They're never gonna get rid of Josh Allen. I think if they choke another playoffs, they might get rid of Josh Allen. But yeah, but yeah, that's a. I'm trying to see what else if I'm missing anything. That's pretty much it. Let me just review again to you guys for everybody that's coming in right now who we waived already. So Noah Shannon, defensive tackle. Oh well, right. Ron Stone Jr. Oh well. Terrell Bynum, the wide receiver. Oh well. Marquand McCall, interesting. Oh well, right. Rashad Williams, TJ Franklin, right? And then probably a lot of people would disagree with this one, and this was one of those that, in a lot of people's eyes, was a surprise cut. Woo Governor. How do you guys feel? Just to end it off, how do you guys feel about Woo Governor? Woo Governor being gone. He got waived. Is that a guy that you're mad that he got waived, or you guys are fine with him getting waived? Me personally, I mean, it's like it is what it is type deal for me. I wasn't high on Will Governor like others, and I wasn't down on him like others, right? Pause on that, right? Pause. But obviously, right, in a heartbeat, Wu went to Staten Island. Wu face on, yeah, just because Wu was on the field, man. Face on, he just injury, man. Injury needs more time. Wu, odd. He was the first cut, but yeah, I'm shocked for sure. Thought he was being the later cuts, not the very early cuts. Yeah, he was an early cut, man. It kind of looks like, depending, I'm looking at the times, he was one of the first ones to be cut. He was the third one cut today, fourth one. Yeah, before 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So yeah, it was in the AM. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today, y'all. I wanted to come out here, you feel me? Continue the trend of the stream schedule. And if you guys have not seen the stream schedule, go look at my community tab or my Instagram. But if not, Mondays at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And then Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then on Saturdays, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays. For sure, Wednesday, we will look over the official cuts and who made the roster, do a full breakdown. And then on Saturday, depending on the news, we will see what to do, right? I think Wu stays on practice squad, but learns under Jack Jones. Those two are super close. That is true, too. That is true. I stand corrected. Then DeMarcus Governor was on the bubble. Thought he was going to be a later cut. Usually skill position rookie stay. Mm-hmm. Wu is a really nice person, but he didn't impress too much, and that's what it looked like, right? And no, it's not to be determined. It is happening. I already did one Saturday, did one today, now Wednesday, and continue down the line. Obviously, times will vary depending on things, but as of right now, that's the schedule that so far I've been sticking by. So we're gonna stick by it. I might push the Monday one to 6, but still, it's not gonna happen anytime soon. I'm pretty sure we're gonna stick by the schedule, and this is the schedule it's gonna be stick by. So hope to see you guys here on Wednesday to break down the official 53-man roster. But on that note, y'all, blessings to you guys and your families. Tough times never last, but tough people doing. You guys are some tough people, man. Life is too short, so always tell your loved ones you love them. I appreciate you guys for being here. If you guys have any comments, please wait until the live is ended. And please comment down below. I'll greatly appreciate it. We can have a conversation about any player and stuff like that. If there's players you would like to bring in and stuff. But yeah. Remember, life is too short, so always tell your loved ones you love them, right? But yeah, blessings, man. Have a great rest of your day and tomorrow, and see you guys Wednesday. And like always, I'm not on kangaroo time all live, but yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all. This was the SC Raiders Talk, aka boy Eric, man, and I'm out. Where the hell? Oh, here we go. Peace out.
Commitment to excellence. There's a commitment to excellence.